All right. So kind of the phrase I always use about my career journey, if it was a Jeopardy category, it'd be potpourri. It's just all the for those of you who have not watched Jeopardy, it's just a bunch of random questions, right? So like in my background, I've got consulting, I've got Target during its Target days where it was like the best merchandiser in the universe, right?
Yep.
And then from there, a big giant church.
Yep.
And from there, a cashew factory in West Africa that helped start. And then from there, now I'm at Arby's Foundation, right?
Yep.
So looking back at it, you can look and say, hey, some of the things that seem to be important to me, if I were to look back with 2020 hindsight, organizations that are at or near the top of its industry, right? The idea of being able to grow something, the idea of being able to compete, the idea of being able to make leaving an organization or community better off than where it was when you got there. So all those things are themes that play in.
Yep.
And so, again, even the transition from North Point to Arby's, I was in a wedding. All right. I meet this person who's in the recruiting world.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm thinking about making a switch at some point. I go, okay, well, why don't you come in and talk to us? And so I come in and talk, and what I'm told at that point is, hey, everything looks pretty good, but in the end, we don't place people out of churches. I'm like, that's an interesting rule. What is that, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, that stinks. But I knew, although I loved my time at North Point, I met so many phenomenal people. I knew that professionally, that my path was going to have to go somewhere else at some point. But I'm like, now I'm hearing this thing of, well, we don't place people out of churches. And so again, there's a million different things you could do. Anyone with any kind of entrepreneurial spirit is like, okay, there's ways to do this, right? You don't have to. But I'm like, okay. So I kind of think about that for, off and on for a year. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I want to do and grow in self-awareness, all that kind of stuff. And a couple of years later, that same recruiter calls me and says, hey, I've gone out on my own. I now have an opportunity. I'm like, oh, you do place people out of churches, right?
It's the party line.
Right. And so she connected me to Arby's. And at that point, I had a little bit more self-awareness of what I wanted to do, what I thought I was good at. And this role checked all the boxes. And even then, I didn't think I would have a career or 10 years in foundation world. I thought, hey, I'll come do that for a year, maybe 2, and I'll go work in strategy or finance or something else. But sometimes you get into something, you're like, oh, I kind of like that. Man, I'm pretty good at that.
Yep.
And so for 10 years, I've kind of looked at this and thought about my role as being, people hear me say this all the time, I've got the best job in the building. The organizations we get to work with, I get to work with all the brands, all these incredible nonprofits, get to be blown away by what's happening. But it's also, for me, there's a great fit of, really thinking like the foundation, while not truly a small business, it is an independent 501c3 charity. So I get the taste of a small business without the risk of a small business, because I've got $34 or $32 billion of brands behind me. Yeah. Right. But we get to wear all the hats: marketing, operations, HR, finance. I get to do all of that. So it kind of scratches my itch of small business. Again, without having to worry about how am I going to pay for my mortgage.